Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi to my right, the Swami George Abraham to my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Guys, as we go to Spotlight, we're in the final week of high school basketball. Teams jockeying for position, playoffs, getting ready. And let's start off with that. And congratulations to the Knock Girls basketball team. They've had 14 straight wins and their first section title since 1972.
That's the way to do it.
When you were in high school.
That's the way to be. That's the year I graduated.
Yeah, they have an
and we
outstanding
should say,
team,
to be
18
fair,
and 2.
it's only the Whippy what's done this week. We are in a lot of areas that still have weeks to play.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're getting ready for the playoffs either way. We don't have a choice. It's coming up. I know it's split up between different areas. Hey, girls' top scorers, Olivia West, Seneca Valley. She had 36. Daisha Lewandowski, North Catholic, 25. You'll see those two. We'll be at North Catholic Saturday when they entertain Seneca Valley. That should be a great game. You'll see it here on Armstrong Channel 10. Jasmine Timmerman, North Allegheny, 25. She averages 15.8 per game. Davina Pry, Monotol. She had 23 points and 20 rebounds. The Pry family in Monotol, girls and boys, career-wise, they must combine for like 10,000 career points. They've been on our show. I'm serious. What's going on? We've been on. This is our 17th year. There's been a Pry, I think, every year. Madeline Boyer of Knox, she had 22. And congratulations to Slippery Rock High School girls coach Amber Osborne on her career win number 100. She's 101-35 in her career.
Oh, yeah, good job. They have a good team. You generally think of Slippery Rock girls basketball as being good. You know, it's not like it's once in a while. It's pretty consistent.
We've done some outstanding games up here.
Yeah.
For the boys, Ryan Lang of Knox, 31. Michael Wells of Newcastle, 30. He averages 19.3 a game. Devin Carney of Butler at games of 27 and 21. He averages 25.1. He is closing in on 2,000 career points. He has 1,951. He'd become the 32nd player in WPL history to hit 2,000. He'd be the second Butler player in 3 years, and the teammate with Ethan Morton, who hit his 2,000, 2019. This would be the second time that two players on the same team each scored 2,000 career points. The only other time it was done, Beaver Falls, 2005, 2006, and that was with Lance Jeter and Todd Thomas.
Right, I remember that.
That's pretty unique.
Hey, that's a lot of points.
That's amazing, 2,000 points each.
Yeah.
Because Elwood's going to have 3,000 point scores at
the
boys.
Yeah, that's
and
a
that's
lot.
how you tell you have a good team. And I want to congratulate Elwood. You said about Elwood won the first section title ever.
Yeah.
So that is what a thrill. Think about that.
I mean, 130 years of WPL basketball. This will only be the second team with two players on the same team with 2,000.
That's
Since
amazing.
Three balls since '88 is a little
Yeah,
different. Before
true.
'88, it would have been really hard.
I don't think you could have.
Yeah,
I don't think you could.
500 a year, you'd have 20 points.
I mean, I remember back then when Bill Saul was the leading scorer for Butler all time with 747 points, which we thought was a lot of points.
Yeah, the reason I said that, George, I don't know what year did ninth graders get allowed to play?
Oh, it's been a while.
It's been,
but not Weissig and DaVinzio's time. That's what I'm saying.
No.
That's the part I'm saying. They had to do it not without the three, but also in 3 years. That's why I didn't think it was impossible.
But a lot of those people just didn't play them then. Like Altoona, they wouldn't play them, but places that had the ninth in the high school was playing them.
Both Carney and Morton, 4
won
years.
a state championship with a freshman guard.
So it was legal.
Yeah.
I didn't know. That's what I'm saying.
In other words, most places, the 10th grade, the ninth wasn't in the building.
Yeah, they have flourishing ninth grade programs.
That's why I asked that question. I didn't even realize it was legal.
It seemed like this place, like Little Williamsburg, the ninth, they was all like stands. It's all in one building.
Yes.
They had ninth grade.
Okay.
Yeah,
but the three ball's big.
Both Morton and Carney 4-year starters.
Yeah. It had to be.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it in 3 years. That's what I said.
No, it'd be 700 a year.
You're not doing it in 3
You
years.
need 30.
Unless your team is lousy and you shoot the ball every
Peyton Johnson of Union, Reimersburg had 26. Jameson Greco, Seneca Valley, 25. Andrew Matalone of North Catholic, he had 25. He averages 17.3. Kyle Pry, there you are again, Montauk, 23. Luke Lawson, Seneca Valley, 22. Matt DiMatteo of Hampton, 22. Zach Schlegel of Mars, 21. He averages 17.6. Ellen Grimes, Summit Academy, 21. Braylon Littlejohn of Butler, 21. Max Rotman of North Catholic, 21. And Landon Chalmers of AC Valley, 20. Let's go to our power rankings, boys. Number 1 remaining undefeated, North Hills, 18-0, followed by Fox Chapel, Upper St. Clair, Central Catholic. This 5 spot that's been rented week by week. North Allegheny back in there at 12-6 in 5A. Laurel Highlands undefeated, followed by Newcastle, Mars, Penn Hills, and Highlands. Mars last week in a tough game. They went to North Hills.
I was gonna say that.
They had a 12-point first half lead before losing 66-63.
Yeah, I called George. I called George. So that score really told me how good Mars is.
Yes.
I remember saying it on the
I had
show.
a buddy that saw it. Was impressed with both teams.
Yeah, tells you how good North Hills. They're down 12 points to a real good team, and they came right back to win it.
Absolutely.
In 4A, undefeated Quaker Valley, followed by North Catholic, Lincoln Park, Montour, and Val Vernon. Congratulations, North Catholic, on a section title. And in 3A, Elwood City, St. LaSalle, Washington, Shadyside Academy, and Aliquippa in the section title.
Yeah, that's
for
the first one in
Wolverines.
school's history. That's why it's so great.
Very
Doesn't
great.
sound like that sounds like the weak one.
Sure.
Not the whole 3A.
No, it is. That's why.
Just
it's
from
it's
listening
the
to
most wide
the other
open
ones,
one.
it
Yeah.
sounds.
Now,
like,
Elwood's the favorite going in, but
Right.
going into the state playoffs.
I got you.
There's no runaway freight train coming
No,
in.
like Campman and all.
it's coming in.
You would think St. LaSalle would be their top.
Washington's really good.
Washington's
the other
12-1. St. LaSalle 16-2.
Yeah.
Hey, in 2A, it's undefeated Ulsh. They're going for that record, most wins
They'll
in
get it
state
easily.
history. Carlinton, and then Greensburg Central Catholic, Fort Cherry, Monessen, and Karn City. And in 1A, it's Union and Newcastle, Bishop Canevin, Almonte Christian, Geibel, and Leechburg.
That's the one that's the easiest, George.
Yeah.
Double A. Olsh really.
Yeah, no.
I don't see anybody there even close to it.
Yeah.
You know.
They're so good.
And like
They've
you
been-
said, it'll be Kennedy. Or
It looks like Kennedy
and
coming, or
then-
Guilford. Yeah, one of those Catholic schools.
Yeah,
now,
they're
yes.
And for the girls in 6A, Mount Lebanon remains undefeated at the top, followed by North Allegheny, Norman, Upper St. Clair, and Seneca Valley. In 5A, Char Valley, Trinity, Indiana moving up. They've had an outstanding year. Moon, South Fayette, and Mars. In 4A, Blackhawk, Knock, Southmore and Elizabeth Forward, and Highlands. In 3A, North Catholic, Avonworth, South Park, Waynesburg, and Freedom. In 2A, Sarah, Neshannock, Olsh, Burgettstown, and Seton LaSalle. And in 1A, it's Union and Newcastle. They remain undefeated, 18-0. Followed by West Green, Rochester, Aquinas Academy, and Union of Reimersburg.
When you said those, can you imagine how good you're talking? How Knox had a great year.
Oh, yeah.
What a bad year though, because
Blackhawk
Blackhawk is
is
unbelievable.
undefeated and
Yes.
stuff. That's
Yes.
just the way it happens sometimes.
Yes, you picked it. That's true.
You
have a great
could
team.
have an
and
outstanding team,
Yes.
and then you just
it does
run
work
into a
that
juggernaut.
way. It does.
PG Hockey Rankings 3A, number 1 North Allegheny, number 3 Pine Richland, number 5 Seneca Valley, and 1A, number 2 is North Catholic. And in indoor track, Butler C.J. Singleton, he is second in the state in the 1,600 meters. He's a Notre Dame recruit. And Guinness Brown of Butler, he is first in the state in the 200 and 400 meters. He is a Duke recruit.
Without injury, you can mark this down in February. They will be
WPL
the
champs.
WPL champions in
They
track.
might be the state champs.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think there will be. Butler track this year will dominate everybody terribly.
And the girls are loaded. They're all back from last year. They won.
I don't know about the girls,
50-some
but
How
the
straight.
boys.
different is the 220 indoors as far as turns?
I don't really know.
You would think
I don't.
the outdoor one would be
One turn.
Yeah,
one turn.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's probably one turn there too, but I'm not sure.
And you don't have any of the factors with the weather and everything, but still, you know these two are good. They've been doing it now for
Oh,
4
No,
years.
and
For
they have
4
depth.
years.
And they have depth everywhere.
They have depth
You understand?
everywhere.
They're
Loaded.
good everywhere. Yes.
Yeah, those guys you can mark them down for 3 events, right? They're going to win 3.
Yes.
1, 2, and 4.
Our stories of the week: the NFL Super Bowl 56, the Los Angeles Rams, Cincinnati Bengals. It's at the Rams' home stadium, but the Bengals are the home team. The first time ever meeting of two number 4 seeds. The Rams by 4.5. The over and under is 48.5. We got some storylines. You guys tell me what you think. Can Cincy's offensive line protect Burrow? He suffered 9 sacks against Tennessee. You got Von Miller and Aaron Donald to contend with.
That is a storyline of the game. I mean, I don't go past her anyway. That's the one I stop at. If they block for him, Cincinnati can win this game definitely.
Yes.
If they don't, it's going to be a long day because Burrow can't throw up on his back.
Yeah, and they got Miller precisely for that.
And there's a stat, too. If they win the game, they cover the spot. So if you think Cincinnati can cover the spot, bet the money line at 160 on FanDuel, because the last 7 times the team that won the game covered the spot.
And can LA's secondary and Jalen Ramsey, can he cover Jamar
He can cover
Chase?
anybody.
He wants to.
And,
He wants to. He said last night he wants to
He can cover anybody.
And then you got Tyler Boyd and you got T. Higgins. The question is the tight end, Uzoma, if he's going to be ready. Is he going to play?
Oh, he says he's playing.
Yeah. Then the question is, how does Cincy slow down Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr.?
Well, you don't slow down Kupp. But the biggest thing that I look at it the other way in that Rams want to run the ball. They want to run it. You're going to like the Rams because they win this game. That means that.
I think Cincy's going to run it too.
They do both. They do both. But Rams want to run it.
I think that's a key. Which team could do a better job running the ball, take the pressure off the quarterback?
Yeah.
And then I don't think anyone talked. Can the LA tackles? The Cincy defensive ends don't get any credit. Sam Hubbard and Tyler Hendrickson. These two guys are really good coming off the edge.
And that's why. What you just said, Lee, that's why the Rams want to run at them. Because they really rush the pass from the outside.
They come hard.
They want to run inside the tackles. Yes.
So which quarterback has the most pressure on him? Is it Stafford or Burrow?
Well, I think Stafford, because Burrow has so many more chances. Stafford was brought in to do this.
Yeah,
I agree.
And the Rams pulling a page out of George Allen's The Future is now because they've given away so many draft picks.
I got to
for
thinking
Jalen
about
Ramsey,
that.
Sony Michel, the running back, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, Miller.
So I agree with you. The pressure is there. Which running back's going to step up and have the big game? Mixon, Michel, but the guy that's come through for the Cincy in the playoffs is P. Ryan.
Yeah,
he's done a pretty good job.
Brian goes named the kid from Florida State's going to have a big game.
Akers.
How you say that?
Akers.
Akers, yeah.
Cam Akers.
No, it's Akers. Cam Akers.
Cam Akers.
He's the guy that's going to
He's
have
the
a big
bell
game.
cow.
First year.
He's the guy that's going
He
to have a
runs
big
the
game.
ball.
Yeah, he's their
good.
guy. He's their guy. He's when we got him down with the Achilles last year, and you knew he fumbled twice in the same game. You know how good they think he is. Normally, you get benched. They put him right back in. They didn't think about it.
And another story there, you have 2 Pitt grads, teammates back in
Boyd.
2013. Yeah, Aaron Donald and Tyler Boyd. Boyd from Clairton and Aaron Donald from Penn Hills, and both have given back generously to their schools. Good guys. They run camps, come back, and never forgot where they came from. So this will be an interesting sidelight there, as well as the 2 youngest coaches ever to appear in a Super Bowl. Sean McVay, he's 36, his second trip in 4 years, and Zach Taylor's 38. I think the pressure is a little more on McVay because this second trip in 4 years, and they've made all those moves on their roster. They don't do it this year. I don't know when they do it.
Let's be honest, more people expected the Rams to be there than Cincy. Weren't they 40-1 or something in the beginning? Yeah.
And
But these 2 young coaches, that's who everybody's looking for.
Yeah.
Those offensive-minded coaches. That's what everybody's trying to get that higher, like those 2.
There's like a tree there, a shanty, and there's about 6 of them. Mm-hmm. How about this? They were all at Washington at the same time, and they hired Gruden's brother.
Yeah, and a much unheralded defense for Cincy.
Yeah.
They've done a pretty good job here during
they've done a great
Yeah,
job.
what Kansas City get 3 points?
They've done a great job.
They found a way to slow Mahomes down that the Steelers had no answer for. What the Steelers gave up 84 points to them in the 2 games. They had no answer for Mahomes. No. Cincy had some answers for him and shut him down. Now, that thunder in the background of Super Bowl 56 is the federal lawsuit filed by fired Miami coach Brian Flores, alleging racism and hiring and discrimination, the possible Civil Rights Act violation of 64. There's so much going on here, so many different facets. Without questions, there's a lack of diversity, even though Houston just hired Lovie Smith, and then Miami hired, McDaniel?
Yes.
Who's a minority. And then so you have 5 minority coaches now in the NFL. But that by no means settles this problem here with Flores, who made the accusation of tanking offered to him by the Dolphins owner Stephen Ross of $100,000 per game. So the other story here is that Flores under NFL rules had to report it because that's fraud. Isn't that not a felony to throw a game betting?
Well,
I
not only
think
that,
by the feds.
How about the fact that he would have all that extra income? They would stick the Fed on him. I mean, they would stick IRS on him.
The question he's being asked: why didn't you report this?
Absolutely.
So now there's
Well,
another
they tried
issue.
to get him to poach another team's quarterback, and he ran off the yacht.
And then Hugh Jackson, 336-1 with the Browns,
Oh.
said he received $750,000. Didn't know what it was for, intimating that this was for tanking. Here's another guy didn't report it, so they become complicit in these
Well,
fraudulent
he said that
activities.
he recanted it.
Did he recant it?
Yeah.
Well, why did he say it in the first
I have
place?
no
Is my
idea.
question.
Yeah, I have no idea.
All right, so now this story with Flores, the Giants, Brian Daboll, and Belichick. You, one of you guys take and explain it as to what happened
Well,
here.
take it from a guy who sent a text to the wrong person.
Yeah.
So I called his wife once and thought I was talking to some other lady. No, I still can't look her in
one of
the
the
eyes.
funniest
It's
things
been
ever.
25
We
years.
clocked on
It ain't
sight.
been that funny to me. It's been 25 years and I can't look at her.
Call that a Freudian slip.
Yeah, okay.
Psychology.
Yeah.
My wife has sort of, hey, baby.
Oh, well, it really works.
I just call psychology the
That was
Freudian
just the
slip.
beginning.
Oh.
I haven't looked at her the same. It's going on 30 years. When I see her, I just kind of hey, Wesley. And I kind of look sorry. No, I'll take that. No, I understand what you're saying exactly. But if it did nothing else, it shook the tree a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. The Rooney Rule itself, when you look at it, all right, here's no bite to it. You have to interview a minority. So they can interview a minority. But how do you compel a team owner to hire a minority? When he says, I want to hire so-and-so, I want to hire Brian Daboll, I want an offensive guy in here. I don't know how that will be changed. Now, will the lawsuit bring about more diversity or just
I would
more?
say, yeah. I would think at the very least it will shine a spotlight on it if it does nothing else. I
think it
used
already
to get
has.
upset. Well, yeah, I got upset. On our radio show. I just thought they were bringing guys. Oh, let's get and I thought that was worse.
Eddie.
I
think it
wonder why
already has.
Eric Bieniemy didn't get hired. I mean,
think
he's been a successful.
At Houston, I think Houston got backed in the corner and said they wanted McCowan, or I think his name is McCowan. They wanted him the whole time, and all of a sudden they hire Lubby.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the ones that said, okay, we're gonna get this
And
done
Lovey
here.
was on the staff.
I love him, but he wasn't even being interviewed
you
for
like
last
him.
week.
wasn't-
I
You
love
like him,
Lubby.
too.
Yeah, I don't know. He's been fired twice in the NFL. Illinois,
team to the Super Bowl.
He couldn't even get Illinois to be competitive.
Well, who has?
Yeah, who
I don't think
has?
anybody.
Right, but I'm just saying.
He took him to a bowl game. They went to a bowl with him too.
No,
So
they're very high in this McDaniel guy. They said he's very bright. I think he's a Yale grad. He's an offensive guy. That's what they wanted in Miami. But here's a coming storm, guys. There are a number of women coaching in the NFL.
Oh.
What does Arians have? 3 in his staff? The day is coming when a woman's going to apply for a head job. And when she doesn't get it, there's going to be another storm coming.
That's funny.
Don't ask him about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You got
It's
the-
gonna
that's
come.
funny. It's like they're experts.
No other sport has hired as many.
No, NBA basketball has a few assistants, but
Right,
yeah,
but
they
not
don't
at
need
this
as many
level.
coaches.
Not,
You know my thoughts, Eddie, on this. I'm gonna take it another way. It's the NFL. The NFL can have all this talk they want.
Yeah.
Guess what? Denver's selling for $4 billion. One thing that keeps going is the business part never shuts down.
But remember the Teflon Don. The NFL's covered with
That's
Teflon.
what I mean.
They
Yeah,
keep moving
No,
along.
Yes.
and you mentioned Pirine. He's the guy that knocked that woman into seventh bait, whatever, beat her up at that bar, and he sat out a game. Now they got his jersey on. Pittsburgh. These
Steelers
people are forgiven.
gone back to
Absolutely.
Ernie Holmes, who tried to shoot down a
Absolutely.
state police
Yeah.
helicopter
That
with a high
NFL
power.
No one talks
Did
about
did
that
he
one,
play
do
in the
they?
Super
He
Bowl?
played.
The NFL is Teflon, exactly right.
They are.
And it keeps prices keep going up. $4 billion for a franchise.
Yeah, and the Saints hire defensive coordinator
Yeah.
Dennis Allen. So he was been in place. They just moved.
He
him
was the
up.
worst hire.
Alabama.
He was the worst hire. I watched his Raiders team. They would lead the league
Yes.
in penalties every year. I have
Raiders-
no idea how he could be hired as a head coach.
No,
They couldn't have did the research.
I saw the same thing. I looked. I go, there's Jim Caldwell, who has
Oh,
a
way
winning
better.
record with
But
the Lions.
did he apply?
I have no idea.
He didn't apply. And
but
I'm
Bieniemy
thinking,
did though. That's what
Bieniemy,
said.
I thought he was
What
going to
the
get
heck?
the Houston job.
I think he must have the inside scoop that
Andy Reid
Andy's leaving.
It's
and
his.
he's gonna
But
get
I
the
think
job.
that's what's going on in Tampa Bay, where Byron
Well, I think
Leftwich
there's no
is
doubt
staying
that.
there.
Yeah.
He's the
Yeah.
head coach
I
in
think
coming.
you're right both places. I think they've been promised.
Hey, now the Steelers hire Terrell Austin, 56, as a new defensive coordinator in name only. Nothing's going to change there. It's with Tomlin. And I'm going to come back and say, look what the Steelers did against Kansas City defensively, and look what the Bengals did against Mahomes and the Chiefs defensively. I still believe the Steelers making a mistake, not bringing someone in, whether it's Austin, whoever it is, and let him run the defense. Austin there, even working for his friend Marvin Lewis, got fired when he had 3 straight games in the middle of the season where
He's
they
been in
gave
the
up
Super
over
Bowl.
500 yards
He's been in the Super Bowl.
with
Baltimore, I believe.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
All right.
He wasn't the DC at the time, but he was on his staff. 1.7 million. I was telling Al, I was amazed the salary was that high.
Yeah. Now, Lewis Riddick reportedly being
Well,
discussed
I'll
as
take
the replace for the new GM for the Steelers. How do you feel about him?
Positive. I think he's terrific.
Yeah.
Just from listening.
Very
to him.
articulate guy, very
Yeah.
smart. And I think the Steelers,
a
you
big
know,
guy.
they say they want to wait until after the draft. Why wait? Why not bring a guy in now to work with the Steelers through this draft at present time?
I never question the Steelers. That's one thing I don't. That's the one team I don't question.
Well, I think they're subject to questioning just like any other team. You
No, I don't mean it that
question
way. I mean, you question it, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Just figure
they're
they
so
do it right.
successful. They
Yeah.
always they do it right. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if it's right or wrong in my mind.
Yeah.
But somehow they have a reason why they do it.
Well,
I
the
don't know
only
what the
reason I'm
is.
saying is why not bring Flores in now and let him work with the current GM and the team rather than
How's
waiting
their
till
draft been?
May
How
to
have their
bring him in.
drafts been in the last 5 years? I'd have to
Hit
sit
and
down and
miss.
look at it.
That's
Hit
hit
and
and miss
miss.
is right.
It's been
Yeah.
hit and miss. All right, high school athletics. WPL coaches and ADs want Catholic and private schools excluded from regular season play, but they can play in the playoffs as they do in Philadelphia. Here, if this were to happen, 6A would be done because you'd be cut down to 4 teams. Central Catholic's out during the regular season. But let me ask you this: what leverage do they have?
I don't know what's going on behind the scenes there, but I know they're
What are they
serious.
going to do?
I know
Refuse
they're-
to play?
Yeah, they are going. That's it. They already talked it over. I know coaches they're saying they
Then
will
they're-
not play them. Yes.
Just not show up.
But
Yes.
then you're going to, so it's a forfeit.
You better get Amy on the phone.
And then you're going to allow them to play in the playoffs, but not in the regular season.
Well, you got to know it's serious because Amy's involved. I mean, she said we got to take this one really.
Make them play
serious.
each other. I
You know?
guess you could have them play each other during the year.
They don't play during the year, but then
No, that's what I'm
in the
saying.
playoffs,
But they could play each other.
Yeah.
The privates play each other during the year. Then
the
the,
privates
playoffs,
play
everyone's
each other.
in.
But then 6A, you have 4 teams. You have
Oh, yeah.
NA, Mount Lebanon,
No.
Seneca Valley, Campman, and then all of a sudden it's the playoffs, and Seneca Valley, your first game's at Central Catholic.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It really is.
And then the scheduling wise, you can't win. You know they're going to complain when Amy says, "Okay, you're going to do that." Now here's regular season. Now Penn Hills, you're playing Mount Lebanon, and you're playing North Allegheny, and you're playing Seneca Valley.
Yeah, Penn Hills will be complaining about that one. That's
Well,
for sure.
how
And
you
it's
gonna
all
win?
because of Canada. Canada basketball, right, Al?
It's a big part of it. Yeah, that's a big. But Olsha's a big part of that too.
Oh, yeah.
No, Olsha's a big part of that.
I saw them last year. You know, they missed one guy and they just add somebody, and here they are again.
You want the answer? Drop out of the state.
No.
Go back to 4 classifications or 5, and go from there.
That would help, wouldn't it?
Well,
would
what would it
certainly help.
change?
You have state playoffs in basketball, but not in football. No state playoff.
What?
Yeah, the one I'm looking at is basketball more than anything because Olsh could lose in AAA and
Yeah.
football. That's what I'm saying.
Now in
They
basketball,
dominate double A.
next year, the girls are going down to 14 teams in 6A, and the
Oh,
boys are
yeah.
going down to 11.
Yeah.
And so who fills that void in the one class? Do you move Fox Chapel and Central Catholic in with Butler, Pine, and NA and Seneca Valley? And then the other one's 5, or you do
If
it
you
the other
use
way?
geography, I think Central's your floater, but Fox would come up.
Fox would come up.
Yeah.
They've been in there
I would
before.
think.
This is the first time really because football's king. There's no question in my mind. This is a basketball argument. This isn't a
Yeah.
football argument. This is a basketball
Yeah,
argument.
yeah, without
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could affect football, like you said.
Football, the big impacts on 6A.
Yeah, you said it.
Well,
You
how
take
far
Central
would they
on.
have to push all in basketball? Could they win 3A?
Yes.
4A.
No.
They'd win 3A. Yeah, 4A, I
3A
don't
looks
think.
a little low.
Hey, high school football, Pine Ridge and Eric Kasparovich did not get an interview for the job there and Pine Richland to approve the hiring of John Ladon Penn Hills, where he went 16-0 3 years ago and won the WPLN state championship. He had a record of 46-13 at Penn Hills. He lives in Pine. Previously coached at Shaler, where he had little success. He was 3-27. So which coach is Pine Richland getting?
Boy, that's a tough one. George and I were talking on the way up. That
did a great job at Penn Hills.
So different between Penn Hills and Pine Richland, though.
Oh my God!
You're talking about, and I haven't seen success in those areas. Like I've seen the guy from Stowe Rocks come into North Catholic, place they can't. They have trouble. They have trouble adjusting to the parents who are all in. You understand? The parents,
I understand completely.
The parents
They're picking
at
the
Pine
coaches.
Richland,
Yeah.
they're
That-
all
and-
in and everything. So if you say something wrong at 4 o'clock, at 4:02, every parent in Pine Richland knows about it.
And look at this. At Pine Ridge, this is their third coach in 3 years. They've had 4 or 5 athletic directors in 4 years. I mean, listen, they do a better job with their athletic programs in the deprived communities at Clairton and Penn
It's
Hills
so different.
and those places. They do a better job.
Pine Richland, it's that simple. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
Sounds good, doesn't
When
it,
you
George?
go through 5 ADs and 3 coaches in how many years, they could say what they want.
It's a mess.
We
That's
know
what
on
it
this
is.
show. We know on this show it's a mess. We know it's factual.
Clairton and Aliquippa do a better job
It's factual.
handling their athletic
Yes.
program.
Yeah,
You don't
I
hear
don't know
this
what goes on, but
controversy there.
it's behind the scenes stuff. See, that's what we can't picture it.
Yeah.
But we know something's going on.
Yeah, they got lawyers on speed dial. That's all it is. It's that simple.
Yes.
Hey, I want to mention something here. Take a look at. We haven't mentioned college basketball in our area. Pitt now 8-16, 2 losses in 3 days. Virginia Tech
47 points in a shot clock.
74-47. Yeah, they're 8-16, 3-10, headed for their 4th straight losing season under Capel. Who got a endorsement from his athletic director Heather Like. This will be their 6th straight losing season. I heard the other day in the game the commentator said they're better than their record indicates. Guys, they're not better than their record. I don't care if they lost 3
I'm
games
gonna say it again.
by 6 points.
47 points in a 40-minute game with a shot clock.
It's 35-17 at the half
17.
last night.
And it's not going to get better.
No.
Because George said this. George, I'm giving George credit for this one. He used to recruit at Duke. And you got to.
I could recruit it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So what happens is you got to
Absolutely.
dig in and find these 3 stars that can really
And then coach them up.
then coach them like crazy, which Dixon did and Howland did. Instead, he's going after 5 4-stars, doesn't get them, so now he ends up with a 3-star he doesn't want. His recruiting stinks. That's what stinks.
And I watch these Pitt games, and I can't believe there are 4,000 here, but they put in the paper they attended 85. It must be a mafia accountant.
You know they do it all the time. You've been to football games.
Yeah.
You'll say, you know how many there were? There were 7,000.
I'd say 27. They go
And
45.
I'm going to say it again. I sat right next to the driver on 100 bus trips, but I can't drive the bus.
Yeah. Hey, Duquesne 6-14. What in the last 40 years? What they've had? Maybe 5 winning seasons.
I thought he would turn this thing around.
Oh,
Instead,
it's getting worse.
2022, he's not the guy because they don't want to hear.
I think they're leaving
him.
they have to drop out of the A10. Robert Morris 5-17. That move has killed him. And West Virginia, and this might be his worst team there. 13-8, 2-7 in the Big 12.
Last place.
I said how he's time to
place.
go too. I said in 2022, if George and I were coaching, we'd be 5-22 too. That today, if you holler at him,
That's
they're
it.
done.
We see you next week.
Level up your internet. Zoom Extreme from Armstrong gives you unlimited data at our fastest speeds available. That means unlimited gaming, unlimited streaming, and unlimited downloading with no fear of overage charges, delivered on our super reliable fiber optic network. But that's not all. Zoom's enhanced Wi-Fi provides complete coverage throughout your home, to the devices that need it most, and it gets better each day. Take advantage of the best value in broadband. Zoom Extreme from Armstrong. The future is faster. The future is now.
Armstrong has a history of being engaged in the areas where we provide service. One of these ways is through breaking bread. Food insecurity affects over 12 million children and 5 million seniors nationwide, putting them at risk for chronic health conditions. we're taking a 4-prong approach to fighting hunger by collecting donations, volunteering time, donating money, and raising awareness. Visit ArmstrongOneWire.com/breakingbread to find a list of community feeding programs in your area.